Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another virtual video on behalf of Meerkat Musings. I am your host, Ben, of course, obviously. I'm talking about, as you can probably see from the screen in front of you, Formula One. It's the finale of the 2021 season. Abu Dhabi, as you can see, is our venue at a revised Abu Dhabi circuit, which I will be taking a closer look at in a second or two. But ultimately, this is going to be almost regardless of the circuit design and anything else going on here, an exciting race. Not necessarily for the pure on-track action, but because it's the title decider. As you can see, Max Verstappen's on pole, Hamilton is second. Verstappen actually was quite a lot quicker in Q3 and took a particularly good pole position in many respects. And it set the stage for a dramatic finale. Hamilton and Verstappen are level on points going into the final race. If they both crash out, then Verstappen wins the title. On the grounds it has more wins. But other than that, whoever finishes first or whoever finishes ahead of the other is guaranteed to be champion. So, pretty tense stuff, and for that reason, the race will be quite fascinating and tense. Not necessarily exciting in terms of the track itself, although we will go to that now, assuming this allows me to do so. So, there are some changes to the track. They have revised the circuit a little bit from what it was in previous years. The main section, Sector 1, is more or less unchanged. Sector 1 being the red mark here. That's as it was. But then heading into Sector 2 and Turn 5, there used to be a kink, a chicane, right before a tight hairpin. The hairpin is now wider and bigger, and that little chicane's gone. So cars should, in theory, carry more speed into Turn 5, into, as it says there, the DRS detection zone. And then they're going to zip down the back straight there very, very fast. And then you do come to a chicane. That remains the same. Turns 6 and 7 weren't called turns 6 and 7 before, but that part of the track remains the same. That leads into another fast DRS detection zone. This section here, Turn 9, has also changed. It didn't used to be one long sweeping corner. It used to be another little sort of kink again in the circuit. And that's been revised again for greater speed. We might see some overtaking there, actually. And then that runs through into a rather unchanged complex for the rest of the final sector. 10, 11, turns 10 through 16 are pretty much what they were before. So we have a slightly new design to the track. In theory, a faster design. In theory, that should have benefited Mercedes, but it didn't. As you can see, Verstappen was a fair bit faster on his sort of final Q3, well, on his first Q3 lap, in order to take pole position. And a little bit surprising, bearing in mind this is in theory a power circuit. So credit has to go to Verstappen for that. Can Hamilton put it out the bag? Well, he's got more experience. He knows what it takes to be fighting for the title on the final day of the season. He has both won and lost titles on the final day of the season. So he understands all of that in a way which will be new to Verstappen. In practice and in Q1, the Mercedes were faster. So whether or not that was down to sandbagging and games being played by Red Bull, I don't know. But ultimately, there is every chance of Hamilton hanging on to Verstappen. Verstappen has to start the race on the soft tyre, which is not the ideal tyre to start the race on. It will degrade more quickly in the environment that we're facing. So, and also the other factor of that is the soft tyre. You want that at the end of the race when your car's lighter on fuel to maximise performance, whereas Hamilton will start on the medium tyre. He can go further into the race without stopping, and when he does have his pit stop, he's on the softer tyre, less fuel, In theory, he should be a lot faster. In theory. It depends. If Verstappen gets a good start, gets away in the lead, can build up a lead, he might offset Hamilton's advantage. But towards the end of the race, Verstappen will be on a, in theory, slower tyre, facing a very fast Mercedes coming at him. Worst case scenario for Verstappen, he ends up not getting away in the lead. Hamilton gets by him at the start, and he gets stuck behind Hamilton for 3 or 4 laps, damaging his tyres in the process before perhaps finally getting past under DRS. So, a number of permutations here. On a personal note, I want Hamilton to win. I have followed his career with interest for a number of years, in no small part because we happen to be from the same town originally, although that's the only thing I've got in common with Lewis Hamilton, to be fair. His career in motorsport went into a very different direction from my career in motorsport, because I have no career in motorsport. But credit to him for what he's done. Whether he wins an 8th title or not, whether he wins or loses on Sunday, the bottom line is he is, statistically speaking, the most successful driver of all time. That is a fact. That is indisputable. He's got more wins and more pole positions than any other driver in F1 history. He's equal on titles with Michael Schumacher. Therefore, statistically, as I say, he is the best of, well, not the best of all time necessarily, but the most successful. And I think he can make an argument for being one of the best there is. That's just my opinion, but when you look at what he's done, there are so many examples of his performances where he has been absolutely brilliant. And even taking into account his car, which, yes, has been the best car on the grid for a number of years, his performances in that car have defied belief at times. That being said, I would not begrudge Max Verstappen if he won his first title on Sunday. He is the future of Formula One. He is going to win a lot of titles and a lot of races. He's 24. He's already been doing this for a number of years. He made his debut at 17. He has more or less doubled the number of wins, actually, that he had. He had 10 wins going into this season. He's won 9 in this season. So he's virtually doubled his win tally. He has performed absolutely brilliantly all season long. And when push comes to shove, he would be as worthy a champion as Hamilton. And may the best man win. That's all I can really sort of say. As I say, I hope it's Hamilton. But if it's not, then so be it.